Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. If you've been here since the very beginning, welcome back. And I am actually here to address where I've been for the past few years. If you've been wondering where I've been. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been creating YouTube videos starting in 2019 and 2020. And then I took a very, very long break from YouTube. And I wanted to say that I started college 2019. And during my freshman year, yeah, I wanted to focus on creating new things and focusing on my assignments and such. But COVID tended to hit, COVID had hit in March 2020, for me at least. And when college shut down and all that stuff, but I felt that I would still create. But if you've been in higher education or if you've heard much about higher education, you would know that the assignments only progressively got more difficult. So for the past 4 years, since 2019, I guess, I've been focusing on college. I did not take a gap year, even with COVID. I was focusing on finishing all my classes because if I'm being completely honest, I'm not much of a, like an academic type person. School wasn't really my thing, but I wanted to keep learning about art and get my degree as soon as possible. So that's one major factor as to why I haven't really been creating. But when I started creating, like for school, I also was trying to find a job. And I will say, being a full time student and finding a job just didn't work for me. And I am very grateful that I have the choice to not find work, like a traditional job while going to school. I applaud everybody that goes to work, goes to school, does all that. And if they have more on top of that, like say if they have children or other responsibilities they need to take care of on top of that, all like all the props to y'all that do that. Again, I'm not here to like brag or, share that, oh, I don't have to worry about nothing. Like I'm not here to be that type of person. I'm just expressing my gratitude that I didn't have to do that. I did want to work though because I wanted to make money. It's just that with my schedule, it didn't really work with a traditional part time job. So, the other reason why I've been away from YouTube is I had started my art business in the very beginning of 2021. I believe it was January 2021. And that was actually on accident. If you want to know more about that, please check out my last video, which was how my business had failed. That's a whole different side, but go check that out when you're done with this video. But I was focusing on my art business because I wanted to, again, make money and I wanted to keep creating, at least since I was doing that anyway. So I decided to start that up and I was focusing more so on that for the past few years, even a little bit outside of college. I had my business up until January 2025 and then I had shut it down because it just didn't work out. And you'll see why in the other video if you go check that out. But besides the point, I was focusing on that and building that following on TikTok. But yeah, that's just how it is. I was just focusing on school and that for a majority of like the early 2020s. But yeah. So then why didn't I create or why didn't I focus on YouTube right after I ended my business? More things happened since, okay, I had graduated college in 2023, and that was May 2023. In October 2023, I had started working full time with the job that I have now. And for me, it's a very like tiring job. This is how I feel. I have to be social the entire time. That's just how it is. And then I come home and then I have other things to worry about. So I never really got around to creating and making videos like I used to when I first started. So I was working since 2023 with my full-time job, but I was also putting in work for my small business as well until 2025. Now, I guess the question will be like, well, after the business has stopped and you're working full time and you have now more time, since I'm not working on the small business, why didn't I create more so in 2025? And that's an excellent question because at that time, I was focusing on building my concept art portfolio. And I will put in a little note here that you can find the artwork that I've been working on for the past year in 2025 regarding my portfolio is with this link or my account on Kara at 3rikadraws or Erica Draws, just with a 3, not an E. So you can check that out, see all the pieces, or you can check out my TikTok, which is 3rika.draws or erica.draws with a 3, not an E. So feel free to check that out. I just posted something on my TikTok not too long ago about everything that I've created specifically for my portfolio in one post. So yeah. So I'm working full time and now I'm trying to work on my portfolio because if I'm being completely honest, it's not close to done. I've only finished a chunk of my portfolio in terms of what I want to showcase of what I can do, but I still have a lot to work on. But why have I returned to YouTube now? And if I'm being completely honest, I miss creating and posting things online. And I miss doing speed paints and sharing my thoughts and commentary on certain things. And I've always wanted to share like tips and advice and all that type of stuff. And frankly, I've been asked multiple times for the past few years if I could teach people to draw or like how do I do this and that and such, but I feel like it's just more my thing to draw and then show the process, but also explaining like, hey, this is something that I've worked on. And I feel like if you look back at my older videos and look at what I'm doing now, there is a very like drastic change in how I do things, at least now, and what softwares I use and just how I go about things. Like, of course, I started somewhere and it was the best I could do at the time, but I'm only going to get better. And I want to share, like, hey, this is what I did to help myself if maybe you were or you are in the same position that I was years ago and that you want to improve too. That's one of my goals, honestly, is just to share art tips, advice, helping people while also sharing things about like my life, but not, not give it a little too much, but like, just give enough where I feel like it's more so like you aren't alone in what you're trying to do. And your journey could be very different or very similar to some of us. And I can only hope for the best for most of us that are trying to make it in the creative world. So now, yes, I am still working on hopefully creating videos a little bit more frequently. Definitely making more this year than I have when I first started. So that is something that I'm trying to work towards, and I'm really, really excited about the videos are to come this year because I've been making a lot of ideas. I've been brainstorming. I've been trying to think of what to even make because, yes, it is important for me to showcase portfolio pieces, creating my portfolio pieces, but there's so many other projects that I also want to work on and I want to share that with you guys. So be on the lookout for very different things, different styles of video in terms of how I'm doing things, how things come to be, if I'm finishing some things or not. It's just gonna be a fluctuation of things because I feel like just doing one thing is gonna be boring. But I don't know. I'm just yapping at this point. But that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for hearing me out. And if you've been here from the beginning and you're coming back, welcome back. Thank you so much for waiting. I'm glad to be back, and I am looking forward to making a few more videos. So I'll catch you in the next one.